In the anime news you need to know about, well, there's no news this week. We're going to tier the spring lineup. That's right. We're going to go through all the anime that we've watched that came out this spring and tier it right here, right now on the Undisputed Anime Podcast. Ring your mum, tell your dad, tell cousins. It's happening. We're tiering right now. Welcome to another brand new episode of Undisputed Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zane, Taichou, captain when it comes to recommendations, aka Zane Reed. And as always, I'm joined by my best friend, Susu Day.
I feel like you were announcing me coming to the ring for a WWE match then.
It's WrestleMania weekend.
I was gonna say, how are you spending Easter, your Easter weekend? But you just answered my question.
Yes, it's timing is all over the place this weekend. Seeing family, of course, having those beautiful sugary treats known as Easter eggs, and WrestleMania.
Yeah, sounds good. And WrestleMania, very very appropriate to mention on the podcast, because as we've discussed in the past, wrestling, like at least pro wrestling, is very anime adjacent.
Absolutely,
there's a lot of inspiration being drawn.
Sometimes the lines are blur, and you're like, is this art imitating life, or is life imitating art? Especially if you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, because you're like, this is the best anime I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. So since it's WrestleMania, I take it you've not been like kind of going through your list of friends wondering who you're going to sell out for 30 pieces of silver.
No,
because I know I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who am I? I could really use 30 pieces of silver right now.
The most I've seen is that meme of Jim Woo telling the Lord and Savior to arise on Easter Sunday.
Phenomenal. Honestly, just because it's Easter, this could be a controversial take. I'm kind of waiting for another anime studio or mangaka to have the gumption, to have the guts to do the Jesus story in anime, but like heavily dramatized.
I think there was one recently where it's Jesus and Buddha, as roommates.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that's the one I had in mind, and it's very, very funny. Like very, very funny. But I would love to see like a proper like JoJo-esque anime style thing of like the Christian like savior.
Yes. Yeah.
I can say this so flippantly because I don't have a religious bone in my body, so apologies for any offense I cause to any listeners. It makes it sound like there's obviously a lot of speculation out there. I don't think it's ever been 100% confirmed, but like I know that it's been teased. I think it was in Steel Ball Run that it is teased that like Jesus Christ is the original JoJo.
Because he has a star on his back.
Because he's got a star on his back. He has the like. His name is Jesus, and his father's name was Joseph. So he's.
Yes. It's pretty much canon.
he's the original
Joestar.
JoJo.
Oh man, we've got a lot of anime to talk about this week.
Yeah, would you believe that? I've watched that. I've actually watched anime. So I'm finally fulfilling my obligations as a co-host of a show which talks about
anime. So this is really exciting because it's been a long time since we did a tier list. I think the last tier list we did was the Bleach opening ones, right?
Oh yes, and that was a really, really very fun episode to do. Of course, it's less fun to listen to because there's so much copyright material in it, I imagine. So you just get to hear us vibing to silence, or if Zane like just stitched in some unlicensed music into those periods.
There's workarounds. But yeah, it's been a long old while, and that was like one of the first sort of Undisputed Anime era episodes we did, I want to say. But we're going to jump into it. For those who are new here, this is the Undisputed Anime Podcast. Normally, we go through all the anime news and is listened to on a variety of podcast platforms. But you might be watching this on YouTube. So if you are, make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. If you are listening to this on one of your favorite podcast platforms, which is global, by the way, be sure to hit a star rating because it will be helping us out in a big, bad way. Susute. This is I'm a little bit scared of this mountain that we've created.
There's a lot of anime this season, and a lot of good anime, especially.
This is the thing, and that's why we decided to do this tier list, because we want to separate the great from the good. What is the mid from the great, and what is just Guna stuff?
I'll let you be the judge.
Of course, you're going to leave that in my hands, capable hands.
You're very capable. Hey, you have a private viewing room.
Whoa!
Couldn't have made that sound any more seedy than it is.
Yeah,
but you've got a safe space within your home. You think that I'm gonna sit and watch something that is like Guna bait in my familial living room, where my daughter might walk through, where my wife might be?
Understandable. Let's just get into it. Let's break this down right then. So I want to say it's 23 different anime series I've got here. Now, in terms of the tiering, again, more so for the audio listeners, starting from the top, we've got S tier, A tier, and then we've got mid, then we've got trash, and then we've got Guna. Okay. So S, A, mid, trash, and then Guna.
We got to start from the bottom, haven't we? Let's get rid of all of the chaff at the bottom. Let's just go.
Let's go for it. Okay. Which one do you want to start with?
Well. So this isn't necessarily this isn't Guna. It's actually trash.
Okay.
Because as I've already specified, I have not partaken in such animes in a time. But I'm sure that somebody here might be able to make an opinion of those things. But let's just talk about the elephant in the room right away. As much as it pains me to do so, the beginning after the end.
Which category are we popping this bad boy in?
Trash.
Yeah.
They really fucked up. I apologize for my language, but there's no softer way of saying it. They really done goofed with this. Mm-hmm. They literally had the goose with the golden egg, who lays the golden eggs, and they were like, you know what? Let's kick the goose.
Yeah. It's the whole thing is like a really interesting like turn of events, shall we say, from the creator saying that he chose the studio in partnership with Crunchyroll and all these other things, to obviously, the trailer reactions weren't great. The first 3 episodes are absolutely diabolical animation wise. And recently there's like a petition with something ridiculous, like 20,000. Is it 40,000 signatures?
I think it's up to like 40,000 signatures now.
Oh my gosh. And then the creator has come out of the woodworks. I think he did a Reddit post talking about how he hopes that there's numerous different things that he talks about, but his biggest hope is that he hopes that this means that a new audience will check out the manga or webtoon.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna send people to the memoir, because if someone's like, oh, this is like so hype, and there people have been like, oh, I'm gonna wait until the anime comes out because I can't really digest it like that, and then the
Mhm.
anime comes out and it's trash, you're gonna be like, oh, well, the anime was trash. Maybe I should have a look at why my friend thought this was so hype, because
Yeah.
it really is an absolute, and it's very lengthy as well, but it's a very, very good like story, and it could have been like hit like kicked off like Solo Leveling did.
That's
Like
wild.
what I thought about the beginning after the end was that when it came out, it was going to be like, maybe we're going to be looking at like a season 1 Solo Leveling sort of thing where
Yeah.
it's not like amazing, but it's good enough, just to like kind of set up the world and the series. And then obviously, as we've seen with season 2 of Solo Leveling, proper popped off,
Mm.
and stuff. I thought, maybe we'll have a slow start while they just find their feet, but beginning after the end is very good. It deserves to have a good anime adaptation. I was not expecting a PNG lock sort of situation with a lot of like still frames in like combat.
Yeah. The CGI wolves getting somehow destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there needs to, maybe for a future episode we have a discussion on these manhwa that just don't get animated very well, because it feels like this is probably the third badly animated. I say thirdly badly animated. We've had Tower of God, which has been very hit and miss, quality wise.
Yeah.
We had High School. What's it called?
Oh, God of High School.
God of High School. Very choppy storyline, like great animation, but the storyline was so
Yeah,
choppy.
they really like it because again, it's another very lengthy manhwa,
Yeah.
and it feels like they tried to fit in too much to like season 1.
Yeah.
And they could have slowed the pace down. But the thing is that when you've got such a long manhwa, I'm guessing that like you wouldn't ever be able to fit like the initial chapters into one season.
I see.
Especially, I suppose we could talk about this next time. Maybe make this the next episode. But I suppose that like for the when God of High School was being animated, I don't think that there was a huge on market for manhwa anime. I don't think it was until Solo Leveling came out that people were like, yes, you know.
Yeah. Then again, we'll probably talk about this in the future. I felt like it was supposed to be like a new wave because Tower of God and God of High School were kind of out back to back, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it felt like the new age of, manhwa is here, animated and all that jazz. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Like, I'm kind of glad Solo Leveling has got the treatment it has, but it just feels like all these other manhwa have been done dirty in comparison.
But it's like I guess in a lot of ways it's like kind of not vindication. That's not the right word, but like I think it kind of it goes to show why people were worried about Solo Leveling getting an anime, because we've obviously seen what could have happened. Fortunately,
and we're still seeing it now.
we've been very fortunate with Solo Leveling, but I do want to see these studios do better with manhwa, because like some of my favorite like things I'm reading at the moment are manhwa, so it's kind of I would really like them to get the kind of hype that they deserve and the animation quality that they deserve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry, beginning out at the end, you're trash right now.
Hopefully one day you'll get a reboot.
Well, it could be very well by one of those things where, like, despite it getting very poorly reviewed season 1, maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like they will be renewed for a season 2, and they will pop off, and then maybe down the line, maybe like when Blu-rays and stuff come out, it'll get like the rework in the Blu-rays.
But do you think it needs to go to a different studio altogether? Because the one that it's with at the moment doesn't exactly have a sterling track record.
Yeah, I think that it could have gone. It should have gone to a better studio.
Are we staying in the trash column?
Let's do trash. Just focus on trash and Guna, because
we're weebs. Alrighty. Another one I'm going to dump into the trash is Compass 2.0 Animation Project. I don't know if this is based off a video game or something else. I watched it on a whim because I was like, hey, this thumbnail looks cool on Crunchyroll. And it is the most
You can say it.
brain.
You can say it.
I don't know the words. It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. No, it's not. It's not the weirdest thing. I just can't like get. So the best way to describe it is like, do you remember Reboot or like Digimon or something? There's like this digital world where it has these
Yeah.
like heroes in it. So kind of like think of like a hero shooter or whatever. And basically the characters they fight against each other and they want to train to get better at their stuff, a bit like Fate Stay Night. And they have these like chibi avatars which are the user players basically. Although these characters, these heroes are cognitive, they move on their own sort of thing. The player is only there to kind of engage their special moves. So again, think of like Digimon in that sense. There's this one character called Death. He's like the grim. He kind of fashions himself as this emo Grim Reaper type.
Emo Grim.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a user. He doesn't have a player because he's that much of a untamable.
Built different.
Exactly. But his power level is obviously OP. Anyways, some weird thing I can only describe as a virus, as a robot, whatever, attacks their mainframe of their world. All the heroes try to fight it back. They can't beat it. The main robot of this world asks Grim to help, and he's like, I'll only help if you give me my scythe. And she's like, okay. But to access his scythe, he needs a player character. So he's like, I'll work with a player character if it gives me my weapon. Sure. Links up, defeats the boss. Would you believe it? Now he's stuck with a player character. Oh no! How will they coexist? And that's the first episode in a nutshell.
It sounds really like I don't know. I feel like it's like super negative things. It feels very shallow.
It is, yeah,
Like very tropey.
yeah.
I didn't watch it personally, but it doesn't sound like anything that entices me to watch, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're intrigued, watch it at your own discretion. That's as best as I can say. Because I guarantee you've probably seen 8 different variants of this one story already.
No doubt. No doubt.
No doubt. But yeah, I don't think there's anything really here that could bump it into a mid column. So yeah, it's trash for me.
Shame. So my next one that I'm going to throw in, and I'm going to also consider this one to be trash as well, because for some of the same reasons. I think that for better or worse, the anime space is flooded with a lot of very mid or like kind of trash anime which have been adapted from all right manga.
Mm-hmm.
Or light novels. So I'm talking about Ore wa Seikan Koka no Okutoku Roshu, which is a story about someone being reborn as reborn into a new world, and they want to become the worst demon lord of this massive interstellar empire.
Got you.
It's
on the bottom row.
On there, yeah. That one there.
Is that going trash or mid?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in trash.
Okay.
It's kind of, again, it's filled with the same sort of like trope. It's a story that's been done 1,000 times already with different skin.
Mm-hmm.
A reborn character with a harem.
Yes.
Who's either a hero or a villain or both.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind
How
of like
many episodes?
it's not
How
my
many
thing.
episodes? How many episodes did you watch?
I watched the first episode.
I watched the first episode. It made me super depressed, just because I guess to kind of set up why he becomes a villain in his isekai life, you have to understand what turned him into, and it's just kind of like eh, he finds out his daughter's not his daughter. He finds out his wife's cheating on him. He finds out like he loses his job and like
Again,
just
though,
perishes in his
just
sleep.
more. That's just more tropey because, like in
Yeah,
isekais, often it's like, especially stories like this, it's always like my life is the worst it could possibly be in this world. So in the
Mm.
next world, it's obviously going to be everything I dreamed.
Yes, yeah. And then, am I right in thinking there was a guy with white hair in a pin white suit who appears in his dreams?
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Oh, yeah. That was a weird one.
So yeah, I will not be continuing. If you
Mhm.
do enjoy this, power to you. But it's not my thing. I think, and we've talked about this before. I think that as I've gotten older, I think my tastes have changed a little bit in anime. Maybe
Yeah.
like back in the day when I was consuming so much anime, I
Mhm.
probably would have not rated this as trash because I have the time to consume a lot of anime. My time's
Yeah.
a little bit more precious now, so I can't like waste it on like kind of stuff like this. Unfortunately.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I totally agree. It's I haven't gone back to it since that first episode.
Yeah.
There's something else I haven't gone back to either is uh Guilty Gear. Sadly, this falls in the trash pile for me. I was really looking forward to this because I thought, oh, this is. I've always wanted to get into the game series, and I always thought the character designs and everything looks like it could just be an incredible anime. And when it finally has one, I was like, oh, this is exciting. Like, it's going to have good fights, good character models, everything else.
But
It's such a weird story. Like, I really don't get it. And it's not like none of the characters I was expecting either. Like, going from what I remember, and again, the last time I played a Guilty Gear game was probably like PS3, maybe PS4. But I remember like there was a character with a red jacket with white hair and stuff, and had like a huge sword, and I was like, that's such a cool character design. But I don't believe he's actually in this. I'm pretty sure it's like either a descendant or something along those lines. Again, I'm completely wrong because I don't know the lore behind Guilty Gear. But it's like this weird story of like there's these monsters and the princess of the monsters, she married like this great hero and someone
okay.
assassinated them. And the main character is their son who looks like he's the same age as they are, and it's just really bizarre. But yeah, I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't even know where the story started and where it ended because it's just try to cram in so much in 20 minutes.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I
Yeah.
don't really have anything to comment on it because I didn't watch it. So, but I do find that like often like a fighting game will get very very popular, and then all of a sudden it'll be like you know they'll want to branch out and do other stuff with it,
Sure.
and then the thing that they make isn't as good.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like a few years ago, there was a Tekken anime that's on Netflix, and it's not too bad. It didn't set my world on fire, but it kind of did some stuff. Like you get the whole Harachi story and stuff. Like it does a good enough job of kind of telling those plot points and stuff. But maybe again, if you're a Guilty Gear fan and you're watching this, let me know. I'd be really intrigued on what your thoughts are because as an outsider, this just didn't land for me. Any more for you?
So I didn't really watch any more of what I would consider to be trash or Guna anime on this. So
Okay.
I'm gonna personally move on to a different segment because full disclaimer, I didn't watch every single anime that is listed here. But I did watch a lot more than I usually do. So, so I'm going to go with Ranger Reject because I refuse to name it for what they have been calling it. And I'm going to put it into A tier because I really enjoy it.
Agreed.
I don't really have an awful lot to say about why it's in A tier. I've kind of gushed about it on the show before. I just really like the direction that they went with the story.
Yeah.
Stuff. I think it's a really interesting take on something that's been done 1,000 times in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, just simply for that, the animation is good. Like the voice acting is great.
Yeah.
I think that they've just done a good job with it.
100% agree. 100% agree. At the time of recording, there's only been one episode for season 2. And it does a lot of groundwork of kind of bringing you up to speed where we were at the end of season 1, and starting to lay the groundwork for season 2, as you could probably imagine. But some good comedy beats, some good character development, especially with the Red Ranger, which was really cool. And yeah, just some really good plot points as well about
Absolutely.
things. I won't go into. I don't want to spoil. I
don't go to this is this is what, if this was on the trash or Guna tier, or maybe even the mid tier. We could talk about spoilers and stuff like that. But I think that if you don't read the manga and you're only watching the anime, it's worth your attention still.
Absolutely. One. I feel like just dumping a few of these into Guna now.
Yeah, fine. But I stand before you, prostate.
Okay, so I'm dumping.
Yeah, I figured that one we're going there just from the icon.
I'm dumping this one, and I'm dumping this one.
Some of these are so transparent.
So for audio listeners, let me fill you in on what I've just popped into the categories. So there was, please put them on
Takamine-san.
Takamine-san. We've got the Dark Elf something. Yandere Dark Elf. She chased me all the way from another world.
Phenomenal.
And then the last one is the I believe it's called the Shinji something family.
I'm not looking through the list right now just to find out what it is called.
It's called the Shin Yunji Family Children.
I see.
It's by the same creator as Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, I see.
So yeah.
Oh no. I'm just reading the description now.
I mean, if you want to...
You can't open with the love between a brother and sister, the love between a man and a woman. That which is most forbidden is most unyielding.
That's why they're in that category.
Japan! Stop!
I mean, to bring some people up to speed, if you don't know, the whole plot is that there's a family, 5 sisters, 2 brothers, and on the birthday of the youngest sister, they find out they're all adopted. Their father is like some sort of millionaire. They have like housemaids and stuff. But yeah, basically they all find out that they're not blood related except for the younger brother and one of the 5 sisters. They're actually twins, but all the others are adopted. Or non-blood related, I should say. They're all adopted, but yeah, they're non-blood related. So romantic comedy ensues.
I'm shaking my head for audio listeners.
Please put them on Tamaki, whatever. Do you remember Bernard's watch?
Yeah. Oh
Imagine-
no, not a weird time stop thing. Is this a hentai?
No, it's not.
Oh no. I mean, just looking at the poster, like the actual icon for it.
Uh-huh.
The fact that you said, "Do you remember Bernard's watch?" For those who aren't aware of what Bernard's watch is, it is a very popular children's show back when we were growing up, long ago, about a little boy who is given a watch that a pocket watch, and when he clicks it, time stops. And it's all about how he gets up to all of his like childhood antics, messing with time. So take that and add that into an anime or a light novel or manga, which has got the tags comedy, romance, and ecchi in it. And I'm sure you can imagine what's going to happen.
Do you want the 411 on what happens? Or
go on?
So
I'm going to rub my temples preemptively.
So this character is like the class president. She's the top at everything, sports, studies, all that jazz. But what happens is anytime she finds out, like, for example, her math score was like a 98 when normally she gets 100s. So what she does is she removes an item of her clothing and it allows her to undo time. So that way she ends up getting 100% on her score. So it's kind of like an undo time skill. But the only way it works is if she, in an embarrassing way, removes an item of clothing. And the worst part is it's almost like a exchange for her to do her time travel stuff. She has to lose that item of clothing. So the only guy in her class who's perceptive that time stuff has happened, because he's like, this is like weird deja vu. He becomes her servant, and he has to carry around spare items of clothing for her because she's constantly sacrificing them for time travel.
Oh man, Lord. honestly,
yeah.
I've got a very, very clear reaction. Like how I'm feeling right now is,
yeah.
you know when the members of the Ghibli studio came to Miyazaki and showed him the AI that they had done, and there's that one where he's got a cigarette in his mouth, he's got his glasses off, and he's like kind of like rubbing his head with his eyes
just
closed.
Gives up. Yeah,
that's how I'm feeling hearing about this anime.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just make it clear. I'm not here to yuck your yum, I'm not directing this at Zane when I say this, because I know that he watched this out of duty, not out of desire.
Yeah, it's a very icky bit of research you have to do every now and again. But
let's change the subject. I'm gonna go with let's flip it around. To Be Hero X S tier. Approved.
100% guarantee.
100%. Like absolutely incredible. I watched the first, is it 2 episodes or 3 episodes?
Mm-hmm. 2.
The first 2 episodes last night. Completely unexpected. I didn't really look into this before it started. Didn't know what it was really going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
All the different animation styles are so well done. So far, there's been 5 different animation styles used.
Yes,
but it's primarily the kind of cell shaded 3D, which is the main animation. But it's just so well done, and it's such an interesting concept of the hero. Like it's kind of like it's a world where, like, if you didn't know at all, it's a world in which the trust that people have in you is what manifests your powers. So heroes become heroes because the people around them, like their fans, trust them, and the more trust they get, the stronger their powers become. But as a result of that, if they lose that trust, they can lose their powers and stuff. And you find out it's like I was getting a lot of kind of Tiger and Bunny out of it in terms of like how it's all like being a hero is a very kind of like corporate sponsorship kind of thing. It's all very like manufactured.
Yeah.
And stuff like to like give them stories and like keep them popular. But I'm really interested to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's wonderful how they've utilized the different styles of animation. There's loads of little. It's weird. Like if you watch at surface level, you just have a great time with it and the story plots and stuff. But there's also kind of like a story underneath, or there's like plot. There's like threads underneath. So, for example, when the animation style changes, there's a click, and a lot of fans are kind of speculating, oh, is the finger click, the person we see in the trailers or in the opening? Because you see a guy constantly clicking
he's
his finger
very heavily featured in the opening and the end sequence and all of the marketing materials. We've not seen him yet.
2 episodes in, we still haven't seen him yet. So there's speculation that, is this his handiwork? All sorts of little plot threads, which sounds amazing as well. Also, I don't know if you saw, but Crunchyroll uploaded a clip of the fight sequence from episode 2.
Oh, really?
And they changed the title because originally it was Nice versus, I can't remember the villain's name.
He was called was he called Wreck or something like that? I can't remember what it was.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's something along those lines. But they've changed the title of the YouTube video to "History Will Say These Two Were Roommates and Nothing More."
They were roommates.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm such a big fan of how they like. I thought that it was going to be like there would be like maybe great animation, but like kind of a shallow, overarching plot. Whereas every single episode so far, I've been like on the edge of my seat, like watching. I've been like, this is really interesting. Like they're really going into depth with all these with this character and his story, and then like you get like the twist at the beginning of episode 2, and stuff, and you're like, what? And it's all like they've done a really good job. I literally immediately care about these characters. So yeah, S tier, could not fault it. Cannot wait to see more.
100%. It is absolutely fantastic, and it's a Donghua as well. This is coming out of China. Like this is
they are really firing on all cylinders.
100%.
They're gonna, unfortunately, like maybe good, maybe bad, but they're gonna set a really high bar that other studios are now gonna have to overcome.
Yeah. It feels like a wake up call for a lot of studios, especially like on one end of the scale, you've got T-Bait, and on the other end, you've got something like this. It's just kind of night and day between it all. But I feel like the same way Solo Leveling has put a lot of people onto manhwa and webtoons and stuff, it feels like To Be Hero X has definitely shifted people's perception of, Chinese animation now, like Donghwas and stuff. And I feel like some of the others on this list are in conversations now if it wasn't for To Be Hero X. Should we go there?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I watched Super Cube. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now, Super Cube had an incredible first episode, mainly because the animation, a phenomenal fight sequence, one of the best I've seen. But it's, as the time recording, it's had 7 episodes, and there's been, again, in the community on a lot of the forums and stuff, there's been talk that maybe Super Cube had a bit of a fall off until episode 7 came out, and it's come out with an insane sequence of animation again. The story itself is kind of cool because it's kind of like, it has shades of Solo Leveling. So again, if you're kind of looking for more Solo Leveling, this is definitely something to watch. Dare I say, if it wasn't for episode 7, I feel like I might have put this in mid.
Yeah? Do you think it's being carried by sporadic, very well animated fight scenes?
Possibly.
I
Possibly.
mean, A rank is still pretty respectful.
100%. Yeah.
Very respectable. It's like pretty decent. Like it's not because you're not by no means are you saying it's bad anime.
No.
Like,
no.
but I think that in the past we got tangled up in wires. Then in the past, I think that we've been kind of a bit we've given out S ranks a bit freely, whereas I think that S ranks should be reserved for truly like for works of art.
Absolutely. Also, this is the second Donwa I've ever watched as well. So, when you're comparing this to like 2B Hero X, they're not all going to be S tier, are they?
Yeah, like I said, like SUV Hero X has set a very high bar in terms of storytelling and animation. So
yeah.
Ooh, Docky.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's go with Fire Force season 3.
Where are you at with this?
I'm up to date.
Yeah.
So I intended. So you can blame Fire Force for this. I intended to watch one episode of a lot of series last night. It's me. But I ended up watching all of 2B Hero X and then all of the current episodes of Fire Force because I was like, oh, you know what? I really just want to continue watching Fire Force now. So I'm up to date on it. I think I would put it in A tier.
Yeah.
Because I remember this being the case with season 2 and season 1 as well. It's like one of those anime where it's like the animation is good, but it's not amazing all the time. But then they properly like pop off every couple of episodes with like exceptional like fight scene.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very much going to be the same for season 3. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the animation. And I'm like, I'm a massive fan. I'm hooked on the like story already because I've read it.
Yeah.
So I know where it's going. I know how cool it's going to get. So I don't have any reason to put it anywhere but A. But it's not like mind blowing at the moment.
No, and I feel like they do. Like I watched episode 3 last night, and I feel like they're doing the classic. I say building a fight, but it feels like they're drawing out a fight because Burns is stage 1, and by the end of the episode, he was like stage 2.
Yeah. You've got like another there's two fights being built up. They're laying all the pieces out, aren't they? They're putting all the pieces on the table. And then we're gonna get like 2 episodes where it's gonna be like solid fights happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But again, 3 episodes deep, it's all set piece, like you say, building. Yeah. So I'm just being a little impatient about it, is all.
But it's good. I don't think it's. I think definitely a like Fire Force has been pretty consistent in terms of its quality. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. And someone could disagree with that, and they're free to do so. But I just think it's like one of those things.
Absolutely. It's my choice. Let's talk about Gundam.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you would. You love Gundam.
Yeah, I'm always kind of caveat to say I'm a newer Gundam fan. And GX, I keep saying it's like GXU or whatever. It's called Quacks. I'm enjoying this. 2 episodes deep. Animation style is fantastic. It's gorgeous. One thing I mentioned in my video, check that out, impressions video on the Zane channel, link in description. I wasn't too overly fond of the 3D CGI on the actual Gundams themselves. Like, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time where they've all been completely CGI'd through, episode to episode. In past, there's been like a little bit of mix of 2D hand-drawn versus and CG, but this is completely 3D CG. But I'm enjoying it. I can feel Studio Kahana, the same studio behind the Evangelion movie, in recent years. I can feel their fingerprints all over this, and it's wonderful. It is really good. And for those that are big Gundam fans, and I'm talking those that understand right from Gundam year 0079, you will love this series. So please, please, please check it out.
Nice.
It is fantastic.
What a treat. What a treat.
Not S tier, but A tier again, because I don't know all the nuances. I feel like if I was a super Gundam fan, it might be S tier for me, but I'm not. So
now, I'm going to do something unexpected here. So, if not for the animation,
uh-huh.
at the point of this recording, at the point of the amount of episodes I've watched, which is a single episode so far,
Uh-huh.
and as someone who has read the original, I would have put this at mid, if not for how good the animation and voice acting is.
For which show?
My Hero Academia Vigilantes. but I've only watched episode 1,
Right.
and I know that it's gonna ramp up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I think that, like with a lot of anime, you can't really rank it based on the first episodes, especially when you know what's coming. Like,
Yeah.
even if I hadn't read the manga, like having read and watched My Hero Academia, like actual,
Mm-hmm.
I know what the kind of content delivery is.
Yeah.
And I know that it's going to continue to amp up. So I think the Vigilantes is A rank.
Nice.
But if I were to base it solely on what happened in the first episode alone, I'd be like, it's like the early days of My Hero Academia, where you're literally just seeing like Deku like train on a beach, like dragging trash and stuff. It's kind of like, it's not like the most engaging watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm enjoying it. I think that, like I mentioned the animation already, like I think that it's really good that they've gone with a very slightly different animation style. Like, it's more comic book esque.
Yeah.
Like, there's like thicker lines and more solid colors.
Mm.
And I really, really liked it. And I think that the voice acting is great as well. I think they've chosen really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch this double sub?
I always watch sub.
I think I watched this dub. Yeah. Yeah, I did, because I remember there's a cameo in episode 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can't even remember how many episodes I've watched, because I kind of binged them. But yeah, I totally agree. It's a fun watch. I mean, I'm enjoying my time with it. I guess it's weird that our main character isn't at the Deku level, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
it goes, I think there's that comparison. Well, I'm trying not to compare, because it's like Deku is the special boy who has all these quirks.
He's the chosen one, isn't he? He's the chosen one. Whereas this is like, obviously, and it sets this up as like, this is a story like before Deku even got into the academy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And stuff. This is something that was happening before.
Mm.
And and again, like you mentioned in cameos, I can't remember if it is in fact actually her or not, but you see someone who looks exactly like Deku's mum in episode 1. It is, yeah. But when she's younger.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like, well, there we go. They're really tying it all together, aren't they?
Absolutely. A great way to kind of cement what universe and time frame we're at with it. Which is cool. I like it. Yeah, I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm enjoying my time.
It's gonna properly ramp up. Like, it does get like so good, especially when spoiler alert, I guess, but like obviously as the story goes on, he gets more, like Koichi gets more adept with his power, and his power then actually becomes something like, it goes from being a very relatively useless perk, like from the outside perspective, to being like hyper OP. I literally saw a YouTube short yesterday, which is basically saying that his power at the end of his like powers at the end of the manga, his quirk is basically like on the level of like kind of like Gojo
Wow.
in terms of like how it can be utilized, because obviously his quirk is like being able to slip and slide
Yeah.
and stuff, but like it goes on to being one of those things where it's like he can like repel things from. Yeah, so it's kind of like one of those
Ooh.
situations, because that's his whole thing is like he's basically like repelling himself from the ground, and that when utilized in very clever ways can be used to do things like, let's say in a video game example, like double or triple jump in the air and stuff like that. It becomes like one of those situations.
I'm with you. I think we may have seen hints of it in one of the latest episodes.
Mm-hmm.
He used it to fight a giant sort of I don't want to say kaiju level monster, but it was a very big monster, and it went to grab him, and midair he kind of like jettisoned himself off it using slip and slide, which was very cool.
So I think it's one of those things that like, and I think I think Vigilantes does a great job at showing what was really driven into the story of My Hero Academia, which was like there isn't such a thing as a useless quirk. It's all about how you utilize your quirk.
I like that. I like that.
So I like that they gave him like a very underwhelming perk, which he's then got to like kind of learn to be a powerful quirk.
I'm going to fill out this mid section. I feel like we've talked a lot about the stuff we didn't like and a lot of stuff
we really didn't like.
we really like. So I'm going to fill out this mid part. So I am going to throw in something called Your Former.
Yes, this is the one about the pandemic, isn't it? And like cybercrime is something like that.
So yeah, it's I'm only one episode in, and it was real head spin because it has cyborgs or androids, and it's all about those androids following the laws of respect, which are basically the
Asimov's laws of robotics.
Yeah, the three laws of robotics. Like you shouldn't hurt a human and obey a human and all that jazz. So there's a murder mystery, but there's so much like convoluted talk. I feel like maybe if there's a dub version, I'll understand it a little bit better, because there's talks about the corporations, the different model types of robots that could potentially have got someone. They introduced something called a brain dive, where you can brain dive into the victim's mind and try and figure out who the mysterious killer is, and all this stuff. So there's a lot of heavy lifting in the first episode. Whilst there's an interrogation and understanding what we can learn about these androids and the laws of robotics and everything else. So yeah, it's a lot for a first episode. And it's just kind of like, I don't know if I could sit through another episode of this. Just loads of exposition hitting me at once.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why it's ended in the mid category.
That's fair. Keep it rolling.
Shall I keep going? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this other one I watched, which I can't even remember the name of. I want to say it's called 10 something. Let me get my list. Watching. It is called Tio Gon Ima. It's basically the one with the kid with red hair in a blue gi. If you've seen this in Crunchyroll.
Yes.
Really, really weird. It's like this little medieval town that constantly gets attacked by monsters and demi-humans and all sorts. Basically, our main character wants to get stronger because he's part of these troops who are there to protect the village, but they constantly get destroyed by these demi monsters and stuff.
Janks.
Yeah. It has like this whole main subplot of the story is about classism. So the strongest person, he turns up and he slaughters all the monsters and stuff. But he's also got special powers. They don't. They're just kind of like dynasty warrior goons. Like they have nothing.
Just a sword and their fists.
And goodwill, yeah. But it also kind of talks about how like they won't even get a grave. They'll get like a stone where they're buried, and that will eventually get overgrown with ivy and stuff. Where those who are stronger and a higher class, they will have a gravestone, and people will visit them and cry over their grave, etc., etc. So he is determined to get stronger. But what's really weird about this is like when he has a dream or randomly he gets isekai to our world, and it's for like a moment or two, and he ends up back in the fantasy world, and he has knowledge of things that he shouldn't do. So for example, he's like, man, I'd love to eat a rice ball, and they're like, what's a rice ball? And he's like, I've never had one, but I'd love to have one.
I'd love to try one.
Yeah. And for example, the other things he knows magic, which isn't really a thing in their world. So he manages to pull off a fire spell when his life was in peril, danger, and stuff. So again, it's kind of like, what is going on here? The animation's fine as well. It's not terrible, but it's not like something you'd write home about. But I don't know. It's I could just drop it now and be like.
Honestly, when you said that he has a he goes to he gets kind of like isekais into the future, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna get isekai back and he's gonna have a gun or something like that. And he's gonna be going against all these into dynasty warriors with an AK-47 or something.
That would spice things up, He just comes back and now he's got like a 9.
It's like, look at this magic that I've learned.
Bang. Headshot.
Oh my god, what kind of magic is that? What witchcraft is this?
Suddenly becomes like king. Yeah.
Cool.
I guess.
I've got one, and I'm going to make a contribution here, but only based on the clips I've seen of it. So you're free to move this afterwards, but I kind of want to put Witch Watch in at A, just because it's been so. The clips I've seen have been so incredibly meta. Like they've been so so self-aware, and it's like I've seen like several clips. One of them is all mentioning like Hunter x Hunter and like Gon's like transformation, and one of them is mentioning like Demon Slayer, where the teacher comes in and he's like, "Am I in the Infinity Castle?" Because I think that like humor executed really well like can kind of carry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think that stuff like that is really, really fun.
Yeah, I would agree with you. This is an A class for me as well, because romance again is not usually my bag. But I wanted to check this out because I thought again the animation looks good. Some of the clips I seen looked hilarious, so I did watch the first episode. It's fun. It's a really good little romp. The thing that it reminded me of, though, which again it's a probably deep cut, but do you remember that like old 70s show called Bewitched?
Yes.
It gives me that like clumsy witch, but also engaged to a somewhat regular human.
Yeah, regular guy. And he's got a kind of a like deal with the fact that like she sees the world in a slightly different way because she can make things happen that normal people can't make happen.
Yeah, she's a very kooky character, lovable kooky character and stuff. The opening for this, by the way, incredible animation. The opening, it just phenomenally nice. But yeah, the only, again, slightly different thing is that he's a descendant of ogres. So he's supposed to be her like strong familiar to the witch. But again, he's kind of like the normal dude, and she's like the kooky witch. And again, it's this weird thing that people in the world don't seem to kind of be like, a witch? What? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've seen from the clips. Is like people being in the class saying, "Oh, you're friends with the witch. Can you make her turn me into a chair or something like that?"
So yeah, there's nothing too outrageous about it, but yeah, it's a fun watch, 100%.
I look forward. I'm definitely going to check it out. I think it might be a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, definitely. Some others I'm just going to bang in here as well.
Yeah, fire 'em
Windbreaker season 2, more of the same as the last season. A tier, really fun, more incredible hand-to-hand fight combat action sequences. If you haven't watched Windbreakers, you've got to get up to date. It's absolutely fantastic. Yaiba, I'm going to put into A tier as well, just because, again, phenomenal animation. Which studio, I believe, is behind this? They've done a fantastic job remaking this. I've seen a lot of comparisons to the old 80s anime version and stuff, and this new version is fantastic. Gives me a lot of Dragon Ball vibes as well, like classic Dragon Ball. It's absolutely lovely. We're down to 5. Any of these you want to?
So I had every intention to watch the Lazarus Project prior to this episode. Like I said to you before we start recording, I didn't know where I had to find it. I couldn't find it anywhere that I had easy access to, so I haven't watched it yet. I've heard mixed things about it in the episodes that have been reviewed, that have been out so far. In that it's like it feels very mixed up in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there's a lot going on, like a lot of threads all happening at once. So it's kind of like hard to see where they're going with it at the moment. But I think overall, it's been a positive kind of view of it.
Yeah, I'd say so. Personally, I've watched the first 2 episodes at time recording. I've watched it dubbed. I'm enjoying it. It's just it hasn't. Again, expectations were a little bit higher. And again, that could change with more episodes because I guess we're still in that building phase. But based on the 2 episodes I've seen so far, it's probably going to sit in A class for me.
Yeah. Do you think that Lazarus Project is going to suffer for the fact that every time it's been mentioned in marketing or interviews or anything, it's been mentioned in the same breath as Cowboy Bebop?
100%.
There's been a lot of like comparisons to Cowboy Bebop, and I think that that's a very high bar to hit, especially when so many people like Cowboy Bebop was so long ago now. People are going to have this romanticized view of how good it was.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hard for it to compare if it doesn't get it right.
Exactly. And it's not like Wanabe hasn't done other work since, But yeah, I think the Cowboy Bebop line is probably used to pulling a wider audience more than anything. But I think you're 100% right. It is tough not to kind of put the 2, or even Samurai Champloo. I would say,
Champloo.
Yeah, it's. I don't feel like it's hit that mark just yet. But
I mean, from what we saw, like some of the promotional animation that we saw for it was exceptional.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling that like I said, I've not started it yet, but I get the feeling that it's going to be one of those things that you can't really. And I guess the same could be said for a lot of titles on this tier list. Is like you can't make a full judgment of it based on a lot of these based on the first episode. Like I said with Vigilantes, I know it's going to be good, like really good, but based on the first episode that I've watched, it's kind of like at the moment, no, it's not. But it could be. I've seen exceptional things come out of like My Hero Academia. So,
yeah. Another one I'm really stuck on is Moonrise. Did you watch Moonrise?
It's another one of those things where it's been on my list to watch this last week. I've just not gotten around to it. Again, it's something I've heard generally positive things about, but I am hearing that it's a bit kind of jumbled up in the first couple of episodes. Like, it's hard to know where they're going with it.
Yeah. So I really wanted to take my time with this one because all 18 episodes are out on Netflix. And I didn't want to instantly binge it. I wanted to kind of like soak it all in because it's supposed to be this sci-fi drama opera, very Star Wars, very Dune like property. So I really wanted to kind of like take my time with it, understand the plot and all this, just fall in love with it, which I haven't. And it feels very jumpy. Like it jumps from one, it does that kind of Arrow thing. When you watch Arrow and it has like half the episode is in the now, and the other half is like stuff
On
that's
the
happened on the
islands.
island.
Yeah.
It kind of does that. Half of it is like the mission, and the other half is like either the training or the life leading up to the mission. So it's kind of, it feels very choppy, and I feel like emotional parts that's supposed to land don't land because we haven't spent enough time there because we're chopping so much. That's my own perception of it. Animation's incredible. Music is incredible. Voice acting hasn't really hit me yet, but it's kind of like the story for me is weighted so much on being mid when I know it shouldn't be. There's all these other things I know it should be great at, but in my heart of heart, I feel like it's kind of mid at the moment, and I want it to be better.
Well, I I'm gonna try and make some time to watch this in the next couple of days. At least some of the episodes. Once I've watched it, I'll give you my thoughts, and maybe we can revisit this at a later point once we've completely watched it.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Do you think I should put it in A for now, or do you think I should put it in mid?
I think you should put it in mid, because I
Yeah.
think it might be one of those things where it's like, maybe in its completion it will be like better. But it's like, again, we've said this before, it's like, some things are hard to make a judgment of based on a sample.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we definitely touch on it. I'm sure that there's a couple of things. We'll typically revisit these things like later down, like in the season, because I'd love to see if you could like save a snapshot of this when we're done. We can revisit it. Maybe even just do it as like a quick like bit of bonus content and something like that. We can really like re-rank it.
100%. Talking of sample size, we've had one episode of the OVA for LaCroix Recoil. It is 5 minutes long.
and was that 5 minutes sufficient for you, sir? Because I know that you do love LaCroix Recoil.
This is true. As a reviewer, I would probably say this is a great. It gives the sense of being back in that world, back in the with our favorite characters and stuff. The 5 minutes.
But the gang's all here.
Yeah. I feel like if you're a fan of this, it's A tier. If you're not a fan of this, then it's mid. It's nothing to you because it's 5 minutes of random characters talking. So
depends on what you like.
Mm-hmm. If you're a fan like me, it's A tier. But you have to have seen the series before watching the OVA.
You need to know the concepts. You need to know the nuances.
Exactly. How will you understand the story plots that they're building in these OVAs? Exactly. These last two, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool shows. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Available on Amazon Prime. So I know you're not going to watch it.
This is the one that you were talking about the other day. The one where you said that you watched it and you could only hear him as like a West Country like farmer.
Yeah. A wonderful story. I loved it so much that I rewatched it dubbed because the other thing about this, and again, this might be me projecting. one, of course, it's an older MC. Instantly love that. Secondly, I'm pretty sure the voice actor, the Japanese voice actor, is the same guy who does the voice acting for Tiger in Tiger and Bunny. So I'm kind of, if I kind of don't want to look it up because it might break my illusion of the old man voice.
I'm gonna find out. Keep talking.
But I absolutely love this. The whole plot is that in a village, there's this gentleman. He's had this dojo teaching various people to sword skills and such. And they've gone on to not only become heroes and knights, but they have become like the world renowned knight of the realm and the best swordsmen in the kingdom and stuff. And they believe that, well, one specifically who's become the commander of the knights of the kingdom believes that her sensei deserves higher accolades for his teaching, his skills, and everything. But he doesn't believe in himself, so he's constantly in his mind. He's constantly putting himself down, not knowing like he is probably like the best swordsman that is ever walked the earth. But yeah, it's just little things like, for example, someone stops her in the street and they're like, "Oh, commander," and stuff, and he instantly hides himself because he's like, "Oh, I don't want to embarrass her that she's with an old fart like me." And instantly, I'm already putting like the accent in. Don't want them to notice it's a little old fart like me, like you know what I mean. But it's absolutely charming. I love it so much.
So where would you rank it?
I would rank it A. Like the animation is good. It's not like, again, it's not incredible, so that's why I'd pop it in A. I kind of wish it had like a bigger budget, but there we go.
I'm gonna enlighten you now. So,
okay,
the main character for the old country bumpkin to Master Swordsman is called Beryl.
yes,
Beryl Gardinant.
yeah.
He is voiced by a gentleman called Hiroaki Hirata, who is quite well known, as he has voiced Virgil in Devil May Cry. He's also the official. It's specific. He's the official Japanese dub over artist for Johnny Depp, Matt Damon, Noah Weil, Matt LeBlanc, and he's also done stuff for Jude Law, Ewan McGregor, and Josh Hartnett.
Nice.
But most importantly here, he did voice the character of Kotetsu T. Kaburagi, aka Wild Tiger from Tiger and Bunny.
Yes, I recognize that old man voice anywhere.
So yeah, he's got a this voice actor, he's got a very, very good portfolio. He was the narrator in Mashal. He's been in things like Gintama, My Hero Academia, God Eater, Blue Exorcists, Sword Art Online. He was Klein in Sword Art Online.
Okay, yeah. Yes, yeah, I did know that.
He's played many Digimon. He was Genma in Naruto Shippuden.
Genma.
He was an Agia. God, he's played so many. He was an Elf in Late. So this guy's portfolio goes all the way back to like 1997. He was in Detective Conan. He's been in a lot.
One of my favorites. Just absolutely fantastic.
He voices Sanji.
Sanji?
Yeah. Black leg Sanji.
As in One Piece Sanji?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
I didn't see it. It was much higher on the list because it's like, obviously when you talk about the One Piece anime, it's obviously going to put it down to like its original airing, not its like current
Yeah, yeah.
airing, so it's like way, way, way back. But yeah, he's the voice of Sanji.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
we've gone a big old tangent here.
This last one, oof, it's a good one. The last one is Sword of the Demon Hunter Kaijin gets Toso. Sword of the Demon Hunter.
Yes, it's got sort of a deep don't.
Very, very cool. Classic. Gives that classic 90s anime feel. Tragic, story. Samurai goes or becomes a ronin, starts hunting demon stuff. Amazing stuff. Good animation, good fights. Yeah, easily an 80, I'd say. The first episode is 50 minutes long. So if you do decide to check this out, you might want to set some time aside. But the 50 minutes feel like a feature length, good story plot and all that jazz. Does really a lot of heavy work. But yeah, it's really cool.
Fun. Well, look at that. I think that's a pretty honest tier list, and I think it does go to show that we've, at least personally for us, we're having a pretty good season.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Very, very good season.
Definitely. So this is our tier list. So in S rank, we've got 2B Hero X. A rank, we have got Go-Go Loser Ranger, Super Cube, Fire Force, Gundam Quacks, My Hero Academia Vigilante, Witch Watch or Watch Witch.
Which what?
Witch Watch.
Windbreaker.
Season 2, Yaiba, Lazarus, LaCroix Recoil.
Country Bumpkin.
Thank you.
Demon Hunter. Kinjin Getosho.
Do you want to do the mid category?
No. No, I could do it. I just gotta find the titles. That's the thing. We've got Your Former. We've got we've got Teogonia, and we've got
Moonrise.
That's what it's called. It's like Moonwatch. So that's...
And then in trash we have got T-Bait. We have got Compass 2.0. Isekai,
Demon Lord in space.
And we've got Guilty Gear. And then lastly, do you want to do the Gooners?
We've got Time Stop Perverts. We've got Sundare, like Dark Elf Girlfriends. We've got possible incest.
And that is the spring tier list completed based on
Gooners are going to be coming for me.
Based on 2-3 weeks of episodes, but we want to know your thoughts. Let us know.
I've got an honorable mention.
Oh, go ahead.
Because it's not on the list. Devil May Cry.
I tried to search for it. It didn't come up in a lot of anime spring lists.
I don't think that they consider it as an anime. I think that's the problem. But we did say that we were going to talk about Devil May Cry.
We did.
Briefly.
We did.
So I'm just going to go right now. I really liked it. I thought it worked really well if you go looking at it from the perspective of something happening maybe prior to Devil May Cry 3.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I know that there's a lot of people who are like, oh, the pacing was wrong, or like they feel like they made Dante too weak or something like that. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like to the point where I like watched it all in one go, more or less in the same day. So I really enjoyed it. What about you?
I really enjoyed it. A part of me is kind of sad it's not a 1-for-1 adaptation of Devil May Cry 3.
That's fair.
That's what I kind of wanted, but I'm glad what we got. It was really cool,
very self-aware.
Adaptation. Oh yeah.
Very like very not shy about taking shots at America.
Yeah.
The very notion of all the jokes that they made about America, all the plot lines about America, phenomenal. they knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. I love the Easter eggs in it. The Raccoon City line made me fall out my chair. I thought that was amazing. And yeah, loads of Capcom references as well. But yeah, I had a good time. I really liked what it was doing.
Yeah, it's set up very nicely for season 2.
Have you seen leaks for season 2?
I've not seen any leaks, but like obviously I can make educated guesses based on how season 1 ended.
Do you want one?
I'll search for it on my own time. Let's not spoil it for this. Not spoil it for the fans.
Okay. From what I have seen of season 2, it looks good. It almost feels like maybe they made a season 2 in preparation for it to be. It's crazy.
So we can expect maybe a very quick turnaround.
Yeah. What's also crazy is like this is the third most watched anime on Netflix. Like number 1 is it third or second? No, it's the second most watched because number 1 is Arcane, and this came number 2.
Nice.
That's wild. Because I was thinking like Castlevania. Surely that must.
Yeah, Castlevania should rank up there really highly. I finally got around to watching season 2 of Nocturne.
Oh yeah.
On the same day. I basically watched all of Devil May Cry, and then I was like, you know what? I'm here now. I might as well just bang out Nocturne as well. So I really enjoyed that as well. So
I thought that was phenomenal.
It was great.
Yeah, that one
gave me a lot of fuel for my D&D brain. Stuff like that. Like next time I have to describe how I do a killing move as a serving, I'm like, so do you remember that scene? The scene where he gets Alucard's sword and he infuses it with fire and turns it into a much bigger sword, and
it looked like something out of Elden Ring. I was like,
so
oh my
good.
God. Yeah.
But anyway, you were ending the show.
I'm ending the show. So what did you think of our tier list? Let us know in the comments down below. Would you have changed any of those rankings? And if so, which anime series? We want to hear from you. Be sure to let us know in the comments. Let us know if you on the podcast comment section as well. We're going to check that out a little bit more. So again, leaving reviews will help us out a lot more. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Be sure to lock in as we'll be back in another fortnight with another brand new episode. And yeah, it's been great being here, tiering some stuff. By the way, if you enjoyed tierings, let us know. We'll probably incorporate this a little bit more. Slightly longer episodes, but hey, it's fun
share your tier list with us.
Yeah. But either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Susie Day, any final words from your good self?
If you celebrate it, have a happy Easter. If you don't celebrate it, it's a great time to get cheap chocolate.
No true words. No true words.
There we go.
We'll see you in a fortnight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Bye.